Hello there guys, it's your Publicaon here, back in another video, and today I'm going to do what if deku was adopted by Mirko, part 8. Hope you enjoy it. So like always, a small recap is needed, but if you somehow missed last part, click an I button right here. And if you want part 9, 500 likes and I will make it. So before I start what if, I apologize for not uploading like I used to, like 2 to 3 times a week. And the reason why, it's because it's Ramadan in our country. Google it if you want to know what it is. And if you don't know how to spell it, it's on the screen right now. So long story short, I'm just too tired to record. So I only record in the evening. And on top of that, I wouldn't say I go to sleep early, but not too late. Because I have to wake up at 6 AM. So I don't have a lot of time to record. Plus, I'm generally slow when it comes to recording. But hopefully, when Ramadan is done, I'll be returning to my old routine. But anyway, you guys are here for the what if. So a small recap is needed. So last part we covered the first day of UA, and by extension Aizawa's test, and Bakugo and Deku's reunion, well, if you can call it that. So after they talk in private, Deku revealed that he doesn't remember anything. After that they do the test and Deku basically aced it, but for some reason, Deku each time he saw Bakugo, he got enraged. Luckily Jiro was there to calm him down. So after he went back to his house, he got a nightmare. Mirko was there to calm him down, and after he tell her about the dream, she called Aizawa, he tell her about his meeting with Bakugo, and she decided to do some digging. Then in the second day we have the heroes versus the villain test, and like the anime, Deku was paired up with Oraka to the displeasure of Jiro. She knows that Deku and Nijiri are close, and she's a tough opponent as it is. She doesn't want to add Oraka, because she thinks that she will not stand a chance. So after Jiro calmed Deku yet again, she wish him good luck. Oraka wants to talk to Deku, tell him what's the plan, and Deku bluntly tell her that he worked better alone. So he tell her we should split and search for the bomb. She gets slightly annoyed because she wants to spend some time with Deku and know him better, but it's a good plan, so she just went with it. So when they split, Deku start hearing explosions. He rushed toward them and it's Bakugo. He's challenging him for a fight. So they start fighting and Deku easily wiped the floor with him. Sure, he's not overly powerful or broken in any means, but still he's powerful and quite skilled because of his training with Mirko and Aizawa. So after Bakugo realized that he's losing end, he pulled his gauntlet up and taunted Deku to basically to end this fight right here, right now. Deku accepted while in rage and fired his eraser wave. Both the attack collided, covering the area with smoke, and when the smoke dissipates, both of them are underground, but Deku starts getting up. Even though he's injured, he's been through worse. So he tipped Bakugo, meaning he's out of the fight. Then he go where Oraka is, and after she confirmed where the bomb is, he burst to the door, charged at Ida, kick him in the face, and touch the bomb. And the rest of the exam stayed same. And I think that's it with the recap, so let's begin. So right now we are right after the test. Deku was taken to Recovery Girl, because even though he can still move, he's a bit hurt. But after Recovery Girl used her quirk on him, he's immediately healed. Plus because he have a lot of vitality, he doesn't need to rest. He needs to thank Nijiri for giving him advice on how to increase his vitality. So after that he walked back to class, and he was quickly surrounded with some of his classmates, asking about his quirk. Basically the same thing that they did to Deku in the original anime. So Deku told them, well actually I have 3 quirks. The room went silent. 3 quirks? They asked him. He nodded. Then Jiro looked at them and told Deku, please tell me that it didn't have the same face when you told me about your quirks. Deku chuckled. Sorry Wildcat, but yes, you did make the same face. So they asked him about his quirk, he explained them, Stockpile, Zenkai, and Uzao transformation. So he started explaining them. He started with the Stockpile quirk, then the Uzao transformation. He told them that he needs a full moon, but he cannot use it very well. He's still having problems controlling it. And the third one, then Jiro cut him off. And the third one is a masochist. Deku looked at her and told her, I told you I'm not a masochist. Yeah, I know, I'm just teasing you. Of course you do. So anyway, the third quirk is basically Whenever I get hurt and healed, I will get a small boost in power. Both my physical ability and my stockpiled quirk will get stronger. And because of my transformation is basically me getting bigger and stronger, I will also be stronger in that form. I see their reply. Then Mina asked him, if you don't mind me asking, you and Jiro seem awfully close. Then Deku reply, well, we were classmates last year, so we already know each other. Okay, they reply. Then Aizawa finally woke up and told them that they need to basically choose a class president and a vice president. So they vote, and they voted for Deku to be the class president and Momo be the VP. Then Deku told them, oh, guys, I'm flattered, but I am not much of a leader. It would be better if you choose someone that, like Wildcat put it, think before he kick. And that made Jiro slightly chuckle. So how about we choose Ida? I did see how he handled the situation in the 2v2 battle. What do you mean, they asked him? Well, he did remove every object in the room to make sure that Oraka cannot use it against him. Everyone was a big surprise, except Momo. She also did notice that. Then they asked him how did he saw that? Well, because I'm the type of guy that punch first and ask questions second, I learned to be aware of my surrounding. Then Oraka perked up, so that's why you are able to see Aizawa when we couldn't. Deku nod. After that, Ida replaced Deku, and it's time they go for lunch. So in the way, like the anime, someone goes through the gate and the alarm went off. The students start panicking and they start pushing each other. One of them got a bit close to Jiro, but before he can hit her, Deku grabbed him and pushed him aside. That's it, Deku said, and he fly above them. Then he released the Bloodlust, the technique that his mom or Miracle taught him. Everyone, stop it! Everyone stopped moving, and a lot of them are actually scared. Stop acting like chicken without heads and look. Then he put at the gate. Pros are already handling it, so stop acting like cowards already. Then he fly down. For God's sake, we're here to be heroes. In 3 days we have to fight villains, meaning that maybe we'll die. So get a hold of yourself already and start acting like heroes. If one of you is hurt, take him to recovery girl. Everyone stood silent. Now! Deku shout. And that snapped them from their shock. Luckily no one was hurt, so they started walking to the cafeteria. In the way, Jiro told Deku, damn, it's been a while since I last saw you use that technique. Yeah, it's quite useful. Maybe I should teach it to you. Jiro scratched back of her head and tell him, I don't think that I can do it. Then Deku stopped and get inches from Jiro's face and tell her, what's up, Wildcat? Getting afraid from the challenge? He said with a small smirk on his face. Jiro blushed and told him no. Then she took a step back. Deku chuckled. Oh, someone is embarrassed. Jiro blushed even more and told him to shut it. Deku chuckled and tell her this is payback for earlier. Anyway, I'm serious about training you if you want. It's a good skill to have. Plus it can help you because you don't have a strength quirk. You can think of it almost like a plan B. You can stun your opponent for a second, and then you can use your quirk on them. I see, she replied. Well, sure, why not? It will be fun. Deku smirked. It will be fun training or spending time with me. And after hearing that, Jiro once again blushed. She started a bit, then she told him to shut it. Deku giggled. After that, we fast forward to the end of the day, and right before Deku leave, he was stopped by Aizawa and he asked him, is he okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What are you asking? Well, your mom, Aizawa replied. I see, Deku replied. Well, I think you already know about the dream. And I know that you already know it's because of Bakugo. Aizawa nodded. Deku sighed. I think me and him were not in good terms back then, and that is putting it mildly. Why is that? He asked him. Well, whenever I see him, I just want to punch his face. Wow, that bad? Aizawa replied. Deku nodded. Then Aizawa put his head on his shoulder. Well, if anything come up or anything happened, come straight at me, okay? Deku nodded. Then he tell him, well, I think you should be worried about him, not me. Yeah, I'm not worried about him, Aizawa replied. I know that your girlfriend will stop you. What? Girlfriend? Mr. Aizawa, I'm not dating anyone. Really? What about Jiro? I thought that you two are dating or something. No, we are not. We are just friends. Huh. You sure? Deku nodded. Well, if you say so. But like I told you, I'm not worried about him because I know Jiro will stop you. Anyway, I think you should go. I already kept you long enough from your Wildcat. Deku blushed and told him, okay, I'll just go. Then he walked out. He met up with Jiro. She saw him blushing, asked him, is he okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Anyway, we should go. So they start walking and they met up with Oraka and Ida. Well, technically Oraka saw them and started walking toward them. Ida just followed her. So they start talking and Oraka started getting a bit too close to Deku and Jiro got slightly annoyed. Deku saw that. He asked her if she's okay. She nods. If you say so, he replied. Then once again Oraka started getting close to him. He took a step back. After that they went a separate way. Meanwhile, while Deku is going to his house, Mirko is going full on detective mode on Bakugo. And she discovered things that actually surprised her a bit. One, Deku and him know each other for a while. Second, Deku got a lot of detentions. And some other reasons, Bakugo have none. He have some warnings, but that's it. She found it a bit odd, especially after knowing Deku's dream. He was the one who's getting bullied, not the other way around. So she quickly realized that this school is toxic. She think of reporting it to make sure that other kids do not suffer Deku's fate. So she did it. Now they have to wait. So for now, she decided to go home to be there for Deku, even though he will cook for her, but cut her some slack. She's doing her best. So when she arrived home, Deku was there already. He was surprised to see her, so he asked her what she's doing here. Last time I checked, kiddo, this is also my house. She replied a bit sarcastically. Deku slightly chuckled and told her, yeah, I know. So they sit down and ask him about his day, specifically about Bakugo. So he told her about the test and how Bakugo was forced to use his gauntlet to match his power, and that make Mirko giggle and tell him, looks like he went through a beating. You can say that again, Deku replied. Then she asked him how's Jiro. It's been a while since she last saw her. She's doing alright. I think she impressed Aizawa. Thanks for the training that we did. Huh, that's good to hear. How about you? How was your day? It was alright. Weak villains like always. She doesn't want to tell him about her later investigation. She doesn't know how he will react. So after that we fast forward to next day, and while everyone is waiting for Aizawa, like always Jiro is with Deku and Momo. Like the anime, Jiro started getting close to Momo. So by extension, Deku. At first, after he heard that she's rich, he thinks that she'll be like every rich girl, overly cocky and arrogant. But to his delight, she's not. She's actually pretty relaxed. But still, she does have a life of a princess, so sometimes the way she spent her time shocked them both. Specifically Jiro. And for Deku, even though they are not overly rich, I think being in the top 10 pays well. So let's say they are above average. So after seeing this, Oraka got a bit jealous. She wanted to get close to Deku, but Momo beat her to it. And by the way, what I mean by jealous is like when she reacted in a sport festival when Deku talked with Hatsume. After that, Aizawa entered the class and told everybody to sit down and explain they're going to USJ. So he told everybody to change. So while they're changing, Minato told them about the peephole. And before he can finish his sentence, Deku fired a small ki blast past Minato's face and told him to stop it and shut it, or else. Minato got scared, but he told him, else what? You can't hit me or you'll be in trouble. Deku started thinking, then he sighed and told him, you know what? I will enjoy what will happen next. He's all yours, Wildcat. What do you mean? He asked him, but right after he finished the sentence, he gets stabbed right in the eye with Jiro's jack. This will happen, Deku replied, chuckling a bit. Then he come close to the peephole and speak. I will tell Aizawa about this. And good job, Wildcat. Then Jiro's jack moved a bit and went back to her. But the other end of the wall, the girl thanks Jiro for everything, but Jiro on the other hand slightly chuckle and blush. Then Mina asked it's a good time to ask, so she asked her about her relationship with Deku. Are you two are together or something? Jiro blushed and shook her head and told her, no, we are just friends. Just friends? She said. But you two seem awfully close. Well, we were classmates last year in middle school, Jiro replied. Oh, so that explains a lot. So I guess same goes for Bakugo? Because of that nickname Deku? Jiro shook her head and told him, no, we are not in same school. Maybe they met elsewhere. She doesn't want to tell them about Deku's past. It's not her place. I see. Then they're finished changing and they start walking to the bus. When they got on the bus, Oraka tell Deku that she have a place for him. He thank her, then he look where Jiro is sitting and tell Oraka, thanks, but I already have my seat. So they start walking towards Jiro and ask her, this seat is free? She nods and he sit down. Oraka start thinking that's a bit rude, plus she's a bit jealous, but whatever. So after a while they arrive at the USJ. They met up with 13. She tell them what USJ mean and how they will do in the rest of the day. So when they enter, all the lights went off. They start thinking power outage or something. But before they can check it out, Kirishima saw something. He pointed at the middle of the USJ and there is a black portal opening up. He tell them fake villains. Aizawa shout, no, they are real villains. He ordered the team to take everybody out and he will stall for time. Aizawa saw Deku and he's getting ready to fight, but he stopped him and tell him stay here and keep them safe. Deku grit his teeth and tell him, right sir, just don't die on us. Aizawa smirk and tell him, I'm not planning to, kid. And then he jumps to fight the villains. So 13 tell them to start running, but Kurigiri appeared before them and start taking them away. Deku immediately saw Jiro and grabbed her, so he was sticking with her, and by extension Momo. And before he asked, because Deku took Kaminari's place, Kaminari is with Tsuyu. So their plan was to throw Kaminari in the water and zap everyone. So let's go to Deku. The second got teleported, he started looking left and right and saw Jiro and Momo. He asked them if they're okay. They nod, then villains start showing up. Momo and Jiro got slightly afraid, especially Momo because it's the first time she encountered villains. Even though Jiro did not encounter any villains, she did trade with Mirko, so she's a bit confident, but still a bit afraid. Then Deku snapped them from that shock and tell them to keep calm. Don't lose focus in a fight. Jiro, remember our training. Jiro nod and go in fighting stand. Deku do the same and Momo ready herself. The villain start laughing and telling them, "Oh, so the kids want to play, huh? Alright, let's play. Especially with you two," he pointed at Jiro and Momo. "I will have some special fun with you two." And right after he finished his sentence, Deku delivered a fierce kick to his face that sent him flying. And Jiro cannot help it but remembering the first night that they met. But right now she can defend herself better. So the villains charged at them and Jiro was able to hold herself pretty well. And after a couple of minutes, every villain is on the ground, barely conscious. Well, Deku did most of the job, but Jiro also helped, and Momo did help a bit. But still, she was amazed about her friend's power. Well, Deku is a powerhouse, so she expected that, but not Jiro. So she asked her how she was able to do that. So Jiro revealed that she is training with Deku since a year ago. Then Deku cut them off. "Sorry if I'm being rude, but stay focused, we're still not in the clear." They nod, apologize. Then Deku tells Jiro to use her earphone jacks on the ground to see if there is any villains around. And the second she did, she picked up on one under the ground. But the second she tells Deku, he popped up from the ground and he shocked Jiro. Not enough to kill her, but enough to hurt her. After seeing this, Deku lost it. He yelled and charged at the villain, delivering a fierce gut punch that sent the villain slamming into the wall or the fake mountain. He coughed up some blood because Deku punched him really hard. And without hesitation, Deku fired Ki Blast at him. And quite a powerful one, remember, rage boost. So the villain is knocked out, to say the least. So he rushed at Jiro. Momo is holding her. She asks if she's okay. She smiled and tell him, "Yeah, I'm fine. I've been through worse." Deku giggled, then he put his hand on her face. "I'm glad that you're okay." And he smiled. Jiro smiled back, but also blushing at the same time. Then he told them, "It's not safe here. I should take you back to the gate." So he carried Jiro Bright style because she's hurt. And that makes Jiro blush. Then he told Momo to get on his back. She told him why and told her to just do it. So she did, and to her shock, Deku started flying. So they quickly arrived at the gate. They saw 13 injured, and only half of his classmates are there. So Deku assumed they also got teleported around the USJ. Then Oraka approached him and asked, "Is everyone okay?" They nod, and she told them that they sent Ida to get help. "That's good to hear," Deku told her. Then he put Jiro on the ground to let her rest and tell her to try not to move. She nods. Then Deku turned around and started looking at the fight, and he saw Aizawa getting his face smashed to the ground. He instantly jumped toward him, and he kicked the villain in the face, but it did nothing. What the? The Nomu tried to grab him, but Deku was able to escape. And he was able to take Aizawa away from the Nomu with the help of his tail. Then Shigaraki started speaking. "A tail and green hair. So it's you, huh? What do you mean?" Deku tell him. Shigaraki just replied by smirking. Then he ordered the Nomu to attack them. Deku tell Aizawa if he can cancel his quirk. Aizawa tell him, "That won't work. He's strong without a quirk." Deku cursed under his breath. So what now? He can use Lunar Impact, but he doesn't think it will work. And if that happens, he will be useless. So he quickly fired a Ki Blast at the Nomu's face and tried to get some distance between them. And then they heard a loud boom. All Might just burst through the door. So like the enemy, he started walking toward the fight. And when he arrived, he saw Aizawa on the ground, bloody and beaten, but still alive. He thanks Deku for saving him. Deku just nods. So before All Might engaged the Nomu, Deku told him to watch out. He's strong without a quirk. So we don't know what is his quirk. Thanks for your information, young Izuku. So he charged at the Nomu and throws a punch. And he took it like it was nothing. And that shocked them both. Deku did hear and saw in videos that All Might is strong, so how the Nomu is still standing. And like every villain, Shigaraki started laughing and going on a monologue on how the Nomu was created to beat All Might, and how it have shock absorption and an regeneration quirk. All Might smiled and thanked him for the information. So he started fighting the Nomu. So after slamming him against the ground, Kurogiri used his quirk to basically have the Nomu to get a hit on All Might. Then Todoroki revealed himself, freeing All Might from the Nomu's grab. Then the Nomu started regenerating. All Might is holding his stomach in pain. He's still standing, but he's bleeding. And then Shigaraki started laughing maniacally and telling them that after the Nomu beat All Might, everyone in this class will suffer the same fate as Aizawa. Deku looked at Aizawa. Like I said in previous parts, Deku grew to respect Aizawa. So when Shigaraki started mocking him, plus he's threatening his classmates, meaning Jiro, Deku got enraged and told him to shout it, as if I'll let you hurt them. Then Deku started gathering energy in his right hand and fired a Ki Blast at Shigaraki. And once again, because of his rage boost, this blast is strong. So the Nomu blocked it. It was able to burn it a bit, but not enough to stop it. Damn it, this thing is tough. Then Shigaraki started mocking him. What a weak attack. You're just a weakling, so stop fighting already. Deku started growling and tell him to share it. Then Shigaraki smirked. Got you. Then a villain popped up from nowhere and shoot a Ki Blast toward Deku. Well, it wasn't a Ki Blast, but it was an energy type attack. To the surprise of everyone, the attack did nothing, but Deku on the other hand, he went silent. Then he started growling. They start asking him, is he okay? But Deku did not reply. He just screamed. They look at his pupil and they are gone. He started getting bigger and bigger. And soon after that, he fully transformed, shocking everyone about his transformation, well, except Aizawa and Shigaraki. He planned this. He did heard about Deku transformation, and he knew that Deku cannot control it pretty well. So that's why he mocked him, to make him lose what little control he have. So everyone is surprised. They think that Deku will help them. Then Deku stomp hard, really close to them, forcing them to jump away. And All Might is surprised about Deku's power. He was able to break the ground like it was nothing. Plus he did release a bit of a shockwave. Sure, it's nothing like close to him, but still. And Aizawa weakly tell them to get out of here. He cannot use his quirk anymore. Plus Deku is going on a rampage. The villains already planned this. So how can we stop him? They ask him. Well, if you guys can knock him out, that should do it. Let's just say that Mirko did not tell them about his tail and how they can cut it to make him transform back. I know she could tell them, but I want to make the story a bit more interesting. So let me have this one. So everyone start thinking about how this is just a nuisance because they have to deal with that thing and Deku. But to the surprise of all of them, Deku start attacking the Nomu. Sure, Deku is completely berserk, but in his anger he remember one thing, the thing that tried to kill his friends. So his anger is only focused on him right now. So I attacked the Nomu and it did little damage. So after slamming his face, he fired a massive mouth beam at him, doing quite a bit of damage. But sadly the Nomu started regenerating. So he charged at Deku and delivered a face cut punch. This sent Deku flying backward and slamming against the ground. Then Deku started slowly getting up and he charged at the Nomu once again. And after All Might saw that, he decided to take his matter in his own hand. So he used all his power and charged at the Nomu. So they clashed and sent a shockwave that pushed everyone away. And it also did push Deku, but because of his size, he was able to collect himself. So they have almost like a semi team up with Deku and All Might, with All Might doing most of the damage and Deku just helping. But remember, he's still going berserk, so All Might need to be careful. So after All Might sent the Nomu flying up in the air with a punch, Deku opened his mouth and fired a mouth beam at him, damaging him even more and stabbing him in his track. Then Deku whacked him with his tail, slamming him against the ground, and that made him bounce. All Might took this opportunity and punched the Nomu so hard that sent him flying out of the USJ. Shigaraki is mortified. His plan just backfired. They cheated, he started yelling. The kid's supposed to have no control over his form. So how? Then All Might turned to him. He still have a little bit more energy because of Deku's helping, but he doesn't want to spend it. Then he need to move right now because Deku is going to stomp on him. Because the Nomu is no longer around them, Deku start fighting the closest thing to him, meaning All Might. So Kurogiri took the opportunity and told Shigaraki that we have to go. Shigaraki argued until he got 3 bullets in his body. So Kurogiri took him away. Meanwhile, Deku is going a bit of a rampage, tried to stomp All Might and punch him, even throwing some ki blast at him or a mouth beam. And All Might is almost out of power. He's barely avoiding his attack. Heck, even Baku and Todoroki joined, but still, that's still not enough. Baku explosions seemingly just tickle him, and Todoroki's eyes just break immediately. And sadly, Aizawa is out of time with his quirk. Then suddenly Deku got hit with a loud voice attack or sound attack coming from Jiro, and that was able to stop him from attacking the others. Then he threw his attention toward her. He started walking toward her. Everyone got afraid because Deku is massive right now. Then Jiro started using the speaker and the mic that Momo created and started speaking to Deku. Izuku, it's okay. We are safe. No one is hurt, so calm down already. Deku started moving his hand close to her. Everybody got a bit afraid. Even Midnight prepared herself to use her quirk to just knock him out. But to the surprise of all of them, Jiro smiled and told Deku, let's just end this and go home. Alright, Greeny? And after he heard that, Deku stopped. Jiro? Deku said in his monkey form. Yeah, it's me, Jiro replied. So calm down, the fight is over. Everyone survived. That's good. Then Deku collapsed, still in his monkey form. Jiro approached him and started petting him as much as he can, because Deku's head is, like I said, massive. Everyone was shocked about Jiro's courage and how she was able to go through Deku, because at this point of time they know about Deku's form and how it's basically impossible to go through to him. But last time he transformed, he did talk to them for a bit, so that partially due to his training. So everyone started getting evacuated. All Might was taken away to make sure that no one saw his secret. Meanwhile, Jiro is petting Deku. He's still in his monkey form. Then he tells Jiro, you know what? I just heard of something. Deku tell her, what? She reply, while I'm in this form, you are way shorter than before. and that makes Jiro a bit annoyed and also embarrassed, so she attacked him with her jacks. Deku giggled until her, oh, that hurt. Then he slowly started going back to his human form. Then he started looking to himself. He's still on the ground, by the way. It looked like that time is up, huh? Jiro approached him and tell him, you're okay? Yeah, somehow, he replied, but I'm just tired. Jiro approached him and tell him, you can rest. Like I told you, the fight is over. Thanks, Deku replied before he passed out. Jiro hugged him to make sure that he doesn't fall. Then she mumbled to herself, what I am going to do with you? After that, everyone was taken to UA, and Jiro asked for their help to take Deku because he's exhausted. And I think I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? How did the villains know about Deku's form? What other things they know about him? What will happen next? Leave your thoughts in comments down below, and like I said in the beginning of this video, 500 likes and I will make part 9. And if you're new, subscribe, there is more videos like this coming, and like always guys, peace.